WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow, you know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, running on 1 hour sleep, so I even have less of a clue of what the hell I do anymore. But no, here flying solo today as Twitch is actually not even in the state, not even anywhere close. He is down in Georgia, the Peach State there, as he's at a pro wrestling camp down there for One Fall Wrestling's Power Factory. He and a few of the Monster Factory guys are there, so he will not be joining us today here, and probably not next week either, considering that we're having a very abbreviated show next week, as it'll pretty much be a more of a brief rundown, I suppose. What can I say regarding that other than
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Wade Barrett, we miss you so. But yes, that is next week, because of a game that has a 12:30 tip-off. They're doing a 12:15 pregame. This is next week, so I'll have 10 short minutes to get everything in. So yeah, there'd be no way to do that with Twitch here. So he'll be back. He'll be back. Right before the holidays. His the present theoretically should be his return to the airwaves. Okay, theoretically. But a lot to get into today, a bunch of different things here. It's going to be a very strange and interesting show. I guess that's one way of putting it here. But yes, we'll go ahead and start things off here with some interesting news out of the other side of the world here. As firstly, Triple H introducing yesterday Nasser Al-Ruwayi as the first WWE developmental signee from Kuwait. And also Shadia Besaiso, the first Middle East female signee, was also she was in attendance as well at the media event in Abu Dhabi, as that's where WWE has been the last couple of days. Besaiso signed with WWE back in October. And last night was the second of two consecutive nights in Abu Dhabi. Last night featuring the main event of Triple H against Roman Reigns as the main event. But the night before, what can I say? History was made in a somewhat unexpected fashion, as Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks faced off in the first women's professional wrestling match in the United Arab Emirates. Yeah, crazy to think. I know that we talked, I think it was last year, probably around this time, in fact, as how the then divas at the time weren't even allowed to compete in the ring. I don't even know if they were allowed to make the trip. But with the women's movement being as popular as it has, and kind of getting away from the divas concept, they were given the okay to have the match. And in order to make it happen, both women had custom-made ring gear covering their bodies from neck to toe. But here is an emotional Sasha post-match with her reaction.
So, Sasha?
Yes.
Just made history. How's that feel?
It feels, oh my gosh, it feels so crazy. Because I haven't had this feeling, to be honest, in a while. And right before I went out, I just started crying because I just thought how huge this is and how much it's bigger than me, and it was insane. The moment that I walked out there, and the moment the announcer announced that this is going to be a women's match, like, you can hear the crowd care. And the moment I stood out there and I saw little girls it made everything worth it, because this is what I feel like I was put on this earth to do. I want to make a change in the world. I want to empower women, and I want to let them know that their dreams are endless and they can achieve anything. And for something so big as a day, having the first ever women's match in Abu Dhabi, like, that's crazy, because last year it wasn't allowed. And this year we're doing it, and it's incredible, man. I couldn't hold my emotions in that ring. I was about to cry right when I locked up and right at the end too, so it's a beautiful day, and I'm still blessed.
There were some fans chanting, "This is hope." What does that mean to you to see not only the women in attendance, but the men showing their support for you?
It truly does mean this is hope. We've come such a long way, not even just in the WWE, but in the whole world. And this is something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. And I can't thank the fans enough, because they inspired me tonight. They made my heart so full of joy and happiness. And yeah, all those chants got to me, even the biscuit butt. I was so surprised. But when they chanted, "This is hope," it was powering, man. It was so powerful.
Wow. What can you say? This is hope. I mean, I know there are some interesting chants in professional wrestling, but that's something that, it's flooring. I mean, just hearing her emotion, I mean, it's inspiring, I guess. I mean, she said powering her up. It was powerful is a very good word to use, as, I mean, it's something that we here in America take for granted. It is just in terms of the freedoms that women don't necessarily have in other countries. And I mean, frankly, if you look back, I mean, these are freedoms that have been established here for probably at least a century. I mean, we're going back, almost 100 years ago when women first had the right to vote. And I mean, that seems like a far cry over in the UAE. But I don't want to go too far in that direction here, because I'm sure it could lead into something that's usually better discussed Monday to Friday during this time slot, as I sometimes tend to steer away from. But what can I say? Getting back to the international flair, though, WWE makes its long-awaited trip today to New Delhi, India. The one-night event, which was sandwiched, as announced a couple of weeks ago, from 2 nights, is headlined by Triple H against Jinder Mahal. So no title for the Jinder, but, I mean, Triple H, even still now at, 48 years of age, is still a major attraction. And, I mean, and has been for, he's closing in on 20 years of that now. So I guess the question is, how can that major attraction status be provided for those under the age of 40? And that's a question that WWE is still working on answering. At least I believe so. Because I mean, what major, like, holy, you know what, I've got to go get to the WWE network or get to the pay-per-view to see so-and-so is, okay, maybe 40. I probably should say under 30. We'll say under 37, because I believe Brock Lesnar is in that. Or no, Lesnar's pushing. Or yeah, Lesnar's 40 at this point. So I'll stick with my initial statement then. I mean, who under 40, I guess, is that it has that must-see vision. I mean, because there are a lot of those names that you see them, they make an appearance and it's a spectacle and it's great, but they already have a long-established career. So that's, I don't know, that I think is an interesting question here. Before we go too much further, let's go ahead and hit the phones, take a look at the local scene, courtesy of Ed from Northeast Philly. Ed, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Triple WA in Quakertown at the Farmers Market on the 16th of December.
Okay, yeah. Hopefully the snow will be out of there by that point. Yeah. I don't feel great for those who are holding events tonight.
Yeah, especially Combat Zone.
Oh, that's
Cage
right.
of Death.
Oh, that is tonight. Oh, no. Well,
In Sewell, New Jersey.
Yeah, it's hard to say how exactly that's going to work out. But I mean, I'd say pay attention to the weather. Those who are going to that tonight, leave yourself extra time to get there. It's snowing out. It's going to continue to snow out for most of today. Just if you know, I mean, you know when it starts. Don't drive as if you're going to just, drive slightly above the speed limit and get there on time, because the roads are a lot more treacherous. So whatever time you were planning on leaving, try to leave an hour earlier. That's the best advice I can give for that.
It was better when they had it in Voorhees.
Well,
not that far.
I mean, it better for some and not as good for others. I mean, it might have been better for yourself, but I mean, those who live closer to Sewell, I mean, they're probably like, oh, good. I don't have to go that far in this kind of weather, whereas it might have been more of a hike for them to go to Voorhees.
Yeah, Joe Gacy's on that show, Cage of Death, Matt Tremont, Joey Giannati, David Starr, OVE, which is the Chris brothers, and Greg Excellent.
Yeah, that should be interesting. Also MJF's on there as well. Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
And getting back to Triple WA, Dino Santo is the special referee for a title match.
Oh, he's stepping between the ropes and refereeing. Okay.
That's in Quakertown. The Icons has signed a wonderful person. Paul Orndorff, the Steiners, Butch Reed so far.
Oh, very nice.
And Barry O.
Oh, Barry O. Man, there's a blast from the past.
I think he was somebody in the early 80s. He was a jobber, I think they used to call him.
Well, I mean, they've tried to get I think the more politically correct term is carpenter. That's been kind of the new, because I mean that's what it is. They were helping to build, helping to build a lot of those other wrestlers. I think it gives a little bit more of a positive outlook. But yeah, I mean Barry O, the uncle of current WWE superstar Randy Orton.
And there's KCW in Derby, Pennsylvania on December 23rd at the Derby Rec Center. Latin Dragon, Black Cheese, Robbie E., Rock and Roll Express, and Roy Gulak.
Oh, very nice.
AR Fox, too.
Oh, yeah, AR Fox. Okay, there's
2:30 p.m. bell time.
Oh, that's in the afternoon over there in Derby. Yeah, that's right. Their Sleigh Bells Ring event, SLAY. That seems to be a very clever pun. I know I've seen that somewhere before. Oh, yeah, I'll mention that in about 20 minutes when that time comes up.
WWE's in Allentown on next Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a nice
7:30.
preview, I guess, as, I mean, obviously a lot of people, I think, are kind of holding off on their cash until the Royal Rumble comes to town in late January, at least here in the Philly area. But, yeah, there is WWE Live, part of their holiday tour. It's going to be on December 17th, which, is a week from tomorrow. And that's looks like a 5 p.m. bell time at the PPL Center in Allentown.
And they also have one in Madison Square Garden the day after Christmas.
Well, that's become, that's become like a almost, at least for the last few years, an annual thing, basically. That usually, if it's not the day after Christmas, it's usually right around that point. That at least, I want to say at least for the last 4 or 5 years, I think, that they've had the holiday tour there, and they're continuing that tradition of the day after Christmas Madison Square Garden show.
And do I have time to run down this list of pay-per-views?
What list of paper? I was gonna say, are you going like 1,000 to 4 holds list here, like Chris Jericho from back on Nitro, or?
No.
Am I gonna have to take? Are you gonna read them and I'm take a commercial break in between and come back to you? How?
Right.
No,
Right.
I'm Mahoney busting with you, Ed.
Next week, then.
Well, no, I was gonna say, I mean, get it out of the way now because next week we only got a 10-minute show, so we're really, yeah, I don't even think it'll be so short I won't even be able to take calls. I can guarantee that it'll pretty much
Everybody
be.
knows about the Rumble here in Philly. Elimination Chamber is in Las Vegas for Raw on February 25th of next year, followed by Fastlane in Columbus, Ohio for SmackDown. WrestleMania in New Orleans.
Okay, so we're looking at the ones that are announced that are upcoming. Okay.
Backlash in Newark, New Jersey for Raw on May 6th. Payback on May 27th for SmackDown in Baltimore. Money in the Bank in Chicago on June 17th. July 15th, Battleground in Pittsburgh for Raw. SummerSlam August 19th in Brooklyn. Extreme Rules the 16th of September in Texas for Raw. Hell in a Cell in Nashville on the 30th of September. TLC October 21st, Boston for Raw. Survivor Series in L.A., California, and Clash of Champions in San Jose.
So interesting. It looks like they're cutting back a little bit from last or from 2017, as it looks like they have. I mean, they certainly could add some along the way, but with Clash of Champions coming up a week from tomorrow, that would be 16 pay-per-views or network specials for 2017 versus only 14 specials for 2018.
And Battleground Championship Wrestling in Fearless Hills next Saturday.
Oh wow, that's on the 16th too. Man, a lot going on next Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, again, better than today, that's for sure.
Yes. And ROH Final Battle weekend next week too.
Yeah, that's right. They're going to have a TV taping, I think, at the arena.
Yeah, and they're having that Hammerstein the night before.
That's right. Yes, the pay-per-view at the Hammerstein Ballroom, and then
I think that's at 8 or 9 p.m. I've seen.
That is an excellent question. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Yes, that is correct. And then, the following night on the 16th, Ring of Honor.
Tickets are going fast.
Yeah, I mean there are some, but and I'm looking here. I mean, yeah, you would definitely want to go to the 2300 Arena website to try to get what you can.
It's too late.
But exactly, before it's too late. Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like the ticket ranges from general admission for 30 to VIP for 70, but I don't know how many of those are necessarily available. But you can go to rohwrestling.com and look for the TV taping, and you'll be able to link up to it.
And that's about it.
All right. Well, I do appreciate the look of the local scene. Good to give you a little extra time, just because I know you're not going to be able to get on next week due to the abbreviated show.
Try to do it in 3 minutes or less. It's hard.
You're right. It isn't easy. It's like that thing The Godfather said, but that's a whole nother story. All right, Ed, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you 2 weeks from now. But also something to let you know, even amidst all that in the local scene, is that the MFPW returns to the world-famous Monster Factory at 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey, next Saturday, the 16th, for one last fight. That's right, it's been over 12 years since owner of the MFPW, Danny Cage, has competed in a wrestling ring. That changes next Saturday as he faces Getty Cahoon in a street fight. Plus, Cody Vance returns to action as he takes on The Henrik, and Sage Matthews defends the newly won middleweight medallion against Hyena Hex. All this and more next Saturday night at the MFPW Arena, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. The action starts at 7 o'clock. Tickets available now at eventbrite.com, and Make sure to check out the MFPW and All Things Monster Factory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, plus at monsterfactory.org. Make sure to check out past matches, bios, bloopers, and more at the mfnetwork.com, which is the home for Monday Night Monsters. And actually, the YouTube, definitely want to check that out. Monster Factory Pro TV, a lot of content from this past Saturday's event uploaded on there, and you get to hear myself doing the commentary on that. So check it out, and if you don't like it, well, I've got 2 words for you. I don't know. Commercial break. Those are the 2 words I've got. All right. I've got that regardless. So we're going to take care of that. Come back. I got a lot more news to get into, including some late-night silliness with John Cena. Also, a couple of signings from Anthem, as well as a bit of an update on the guy who knows little Jimmy very well, and also some legal things to discuss, because it's all about legalities these days. All that and more here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Your health is your most precious asset. Tune in to St. Mary Healthline Wednesday at 9 a.m. for advice on how to better manage your health. You will hear about important medical issues from the doctors and professionals across all service lines from St. Mary Medical Center. You will have the opportunity to talk or email your questions to the experts who can help you live a healthier lifestyle. St. Mary Healthline, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. It's your health. Expect more.
All of us want to make a difference. As veterans, we committed to protect our country. We served and sacrificed for the things that mattered most. Those experiences shaped our lives. Now we're husbands, wives, parents, and friends. And sometimes we forget that the biggest challenge can be asking for support. The Veterans Crisis Line is here for veterans. Dial 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. It matters.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
Philadelphia Protestant Home is a premier senior living community that offers affordable, quality, independent living, personal care, skilled nursing, and rehabilitation. PPH is located on a beautiful, serene campus within minutes of Bucks County and features a variety of on-site amenities for active lifestyles. Elegant dining services, ice cream parlor, indoor pool and wellness center, bowling alley, computer learning center, greenhouse, bank, market, and coming soon, a pharmacy. Call now to schedule a tour, 215-697-8000, or visit us on the web at pphfamily.org. At PPH, we're family.
The last thing I remember, I was outside Chicky and Pete's.
Of course, George. Chicky and Pete's is Philadelphia's most decorated and award-winning restaurant.
I give each of the kids a Chicky and Pete's gift card. It's the gift that always fits.
It's almost as good as getting your wings.
Yeah, that's right, Clarence. You can get your wings at Chicky's, and crab fries and lobster pizza and a hot beef sandwich.
You see, George, it really is a wonderful place, this Chicky and Pete's.
He's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so he might have to...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. I'm going to break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you. Lucas is down in Georgia. Nothing about him stealing souls or anything like that. I don't know, some sort of Charlie Daniels reference, kind of what I was going for there. Okay, I think Ted chuckled. We're good. All right. Yes. So some more news and notes and things to get into here. Anthem Wrestling, they have announced on Tuesday that joining the company as executive vice presidents, none other than Scott D'Amore and Don Callis. A couple of Canadians joining the now Canada-based Impact Wrestling. Yes. Reporting to Ed Nordholm, they will form a 3-member executive committee with overall responsibility for developing the creative direction for the company and managing the execution of the company's business plan. Very corporate-y stuff. Don Callis, as you know, he's been in the business for 15 years as a performer, color commentator, and writer for the WWF, ECW, and TNA. He retired from wrestling in 2004, obtained an MBA, and established another successful career in international business, but is now the color commentator for New Japan Pro Wrestling, which he will retain that role and co-hosts the podcast Killing the Town on the Jericho Network. Scott D'Amore, meanwhile, he's done a whole bunch of stuff in wrestling, from performing, training, promoting, writing, and producing. As an Impact original, having been with the company from the early days in the Asylum till his departure in 2010. He also owns and operates Can-Am Wrestling, a successful professional wrestling training facility that has produced numerous top talents in the wrestling industry today. So a couple of key gets try to provide some stabilization in terms of creative for Impact Wrestling. Another tidbit here. This week, WWE Holiday Week on the USA Network, with USA airing Raw on Monday, SmackDown on Tuesday, and NXT 1 Hour Special on Wednesday at 7 Eastern. Tribute to the Troops on Thursday at 8 Eastern, followed by USA's 1930s saga Damnation with guest star WWE's Harper. And then on Saturday, the 16th, the week concludes with an airing of The Rock's movie Journey to the Mysterious Island at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So, yay, lots of viewing stuff for WWE on the USA Network this week. So before do I want to go with the legal stuff next, or do I want to, we'll get into some fun and then come back to it here, because I've been kind of sitting on this for a little bit and looking forward to it here. So John Cena, as you may or may not know, was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon this past week, as well as on NBC's Today Show the following morning to promote the Ferdinand animated film that he starred in, and that'll be released next week. Though I have a hunch, just knowing how most people are, and me not being the big movie guy by any means, but I think a lot of people will be going to see that Star Wars movie that also comes out next week. Just a hunch. Just a hunch. But nonetheless, Cena's still having a little bit of fun here, as he had an interesting experience playing Mad Libs with Fallon. Jimmy Fallon asking Cena for various words to fill in, as you know how Mad Libs, I believe, works. Nouns, verbs, adjectives, those sort of things, and it all fits into a story. The answers, along with the story filling in the answers, were then written onto cue cards, and the two acted out a dramatic Mad Lib scene. And here's a sample of some of the swift, strange responses from the mind of John Cena, courtesy of NBC.
Give me an adjective.
Flamboyant.
Flamboyant? Mm-hmm. Really making your cue card guys work. Pet name.
Winston.
Wow, that was really fast. Nickname for a kid.
Jimmy Bill Bob.
That's a nickname for a kid?
Yeah, Jimmy Bill Bob.
Type of profession.
Late night host.
What would you shout if you stubbed your toe? Falafel! It's the most interesting answers I've ever played. Type of drink?
A Rob Roy.
What?
It's a Manhattan.
I know what that is, but no kid knows what a Rob Roy is.
They do now. Rob Roy
for everyone here. Rob Roy is great. Advice that you would give a shy teenager?
Stay golden, pony boy.
These are the best answers ever. Stay golden, pony boy. Oh my gosh. Another good reference. Oh my gosh. Body part?
Perineum.
I'm gonna have to give my cue card guy mouth to mouth after the perineum.
Well, I can't. I mean, that's you want to go medical on that.
No, perineum. Is that something?
No, it's the space between.
Okay, gotcha. Oh my. That's not what that song is about. That's not what that song is about.
That is for me.
No, it is not.
So Dave Matthews speaks to me.
That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. Oh my gosh.
Here we are.
I know. This is great. Object.
Protractor.
A plural noun.
Puppies.
Puppies. Plural animals.
Dragons.
All right, we're almost done. Give me a color.
sea breeze.
Sea breeze is a color? I gotta get my Crayola set. Another body part.
Can I say anus?
No! Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can
It's a
say
part.
it. And a verb.
Jump.
There you go. Perfect. All right. We filled it out. We are ready for our scene. I'm going to hand this into the computer. And then they're going to go on the cue cards. Are you ready to perform our scene?
Let's do this!
Yes! Let's go!
Oh, you won't be able to hear that here. I didn't want to give you the whole thing, but I'm sure if you hop on, I'm sure either NBC.com or maybe just look up John Cena, Jimmy Fallon, Mad Libs. I'm sure you'll be able to find out how that scene and some of the other answers had all played out. But yeah, certainly interesting. And now I will never, I won't be able to unhear that as far as the Dave Matthews Band song. Cena, you ruined it for me. You ruined it. Oh, man. But it was still funny nonetheless. I have to just watching Ted almost double over in the production area as he's listening to some of these things. Although apparently he had no problem. He laughed at both of the body part things mentioned. So there wasn't any. Why aren't you hitting the dump button? No, I edited it. If I thought it was going to be a problem, I would have. I wouldn't have included it, but I figured that was it was enough to pass the censors. Not gonna Craig Ferguson it or something like that. I just saw that recently. I didn't watch much of the Late Show when he was on it, but I don't know. I stumbled upon something and that led me into this loop. And next thing you know, I'm watching all kinds of things with Jeff Ferguson, the robot sidekick, and I know it's not on anymore, but there's a lot of funny stuff on the interwebs in terms of that here. You never know where this show's going to go. What can I say? Although, yeah, I was going to say, my Jeff, better known as Twitch, isn't here. I don't know what... well, I mean, I know why, but I don't know. It's one of those weird scenarios, I guess, kind of like... what was it? Well, since we haven't heard from Nutsy, maybe we'll hear from a similar constituent here.
You're never around, but I need you.
Yeah, that's what it seems like sometimes with him. Just replace Hiss with Twitch, and that's no. Anyway, another bit of news here. R-Truth tweeting out on Sunday, addressing his recent absence from WWE, saying, quote, "What's up, y'all? Hey, if anyone is wondering where I am, please read my earlier tweets. People keep asking me the same question every day, why I'm not on WWE. I am injured." So he sent that on Sunday, and then the next day, on Monday, he posted a Periscope chat from a hospital bed, noting he was about to undergo shoulder surgery and was actually laughing and joking all while recording with the anesthesiologist as he was about to go under for the surgery. Technology. Like, I wouldn't have thought to do that, like, back in February when I had my surgery, although it wasn't on the shoulder. It was a little bit further below. Well, pretty close to that space between that John Cena was singing about. But that notwithstanding, I don't know. I don't see the need to broadcast while I'm, on the verge of being delivered anesthesia. But I mean, this is somebody who was talking to little Jimmy for a while, so I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say we'll save the seriousness and then get back to something wonderful on the other side here. But first. It's about that time, isn't it? Yes, it's a great day to become irregular at the Broken Goblet Brewery at 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Starting today, that's right, since they opened about 40 minutes ago, the 2018 Irregular Membership and Award Program launches to the public. Members can expect discounts, special parties, and an invite to the irregular-only soft opening at the new location set for late spring of 2018. It'll feel like opening that Nintendo on Christmas morning, only with more beer this time. It's on like Donkey Kong. That's right, that's the theme for this year. Also, the holiday kickoff starts next Saturday the 16th with an ALS Reverse Ice Bucket Challenge. The Goblet raising funds for ALS research. They're going to have 2 special cask ales, every penny going toward their goal of $500. And if they hit that goal, the Beeb Gob staff will fill a 10-foot by 3-foot deep pool full of 200 pounds of ice and water, and they'll take a cozy dip. Better them than me. Plus that day, Christmas Vacation will be on the big screen, followed by Quizzo later that evening, and hopefully You Know What won't be full that day, as noted in Christmas Vacation. Plus that week, Wednesday the 20th, will be Amy Robideau's classical Christmas concert. The 21st is house musician Mike Esterbrook's Grinch's Night Out. And Saturday the 23rd is the Sherwood Brothers' 3rd annual Rockin' Christmas Spectacular. Meanwhile, back currently on tap, escorted from the building, the Broken Goblet's Imperial Red Ale, as well as a London Brown Ale spiced to give flavors of gingerbread and spice wafer, affectionately known as Not the Gumdrop Buttons. Yeah, Shrek fans, you get that reference. It's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Please enjoy responsibly, especially today with all this snow. Don't be dumb out there. But you're not dumb because you're listening to me here, and I do appreciate it. Stick around. I'll be back with more stuff right after this here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, Tom Mellon from Team Toyota. Remember to listen to our show, Let's Go Places with Tommy Toyota, live here on 1490 WBCB, dedicated to our local hometown veterans, policemen, and firemen. Call me anytime for an appointment at 215-768-6505. That's 215-768-6505 for your exclusively discounted vehicle selection, and $50 will be donated in your honor to our specially selected charities. Stop by and see me, Tommy Toyota, at Team Toyota, Business Route 1, Langhorne.
Join us this and every Monday night as we break down the upcoming Eagles matchup with Paul Jolovitz and Tom Cardella with the Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show presented by Corona. Join Paul, Tom, and a different Eagles guest each week from 6 to 7 p.m. as we talk all the ins and outs of Philadelphia Eagles football. The Independence Blue Cross Monday Night Kickoff Show presented by Corona every Monday night right here on 1490 WBCB, 610 Sports, and video stream live on WBCBSports.com as well as Facebook Live.
Hi, I'm Jack Spears. I bring you the greatest hits from the 60s to today here on 1490 WBCB, as well as do news. I hope you know what you want for the holidays, because I don't. I'll probably get a bunch of coal anyway, but in all seriousness, I wish you and yours a very happy holidays.
Hi, this is Bill Clement, and I'm hoping you can join me this and every Wednesday, 6 to 7 p.m. for the fastest hour on radio. Independence Blue Cross presents Bill Clement's Hockey World. I'll be joined by a different Flyers or Phantoms guest each week from a Chickies and Pete's location near you. Go to WBCBSports.com to learn more and watch the show live each and every week. Independence Blue Cross presents Bill Clement's Hockey World live from Chickies and Pete's every Wednesday, 6 to 7 p.m., right here on 1490 WBCB, and also heard Thursdays, 5 to 6 p.m. on 610 AM Sports.
The attorneys at Gage Fiore provide top quality legal counsel and follow 3 guiding principles. First, they listen to your needs. Then, they are upfront about whether they can help. And if so, they fight hard for your rights. No exaggerated claims, no baseless offers. They simply fight for you and the best possible legal outcome. Visit GageFiore.com for more information. That's GageFiore.com. Gage Fiore, attorneys that fight for you.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, December 9. On this date in 1996, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Charlotte, North Carolina. In the main event, Rick Steiner fought Scott Norton to a no contest. On this date in 2001, the WWF held its Vengeance pay-per-view. In the main event, Chris Jericho pinned Steve Austin to become the first WWF Undisputed Champion. On this date in 2002, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Knoxville, Tennessee. In the main event, Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley, and Trish Stratus defeated Chris Jericho, Christian, and Victoria in a 3-on-3 tables match. On this date in 2012, TNA held its Final Resolution pay-per-view. In the main event, Jeff Hardy pinned Bobby Roode to retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, December 9. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you all by myself, like Eric Carmen, or the Eric Carmen song of the same name. Lucas is down in Georgia learning stuff at a wrestling camp, but he should be back on the 23rd, as next week we've got a very, very abbreviated edition of Pro Wrestling Weekly, a whopping 10 minutes. Should be interesting here. Well, we'll see. We'll kind of cram everything in. It'll be the short version in the movie Spaceballs, if you remember the wedding scene on that. Something that's not short, legal stuff. So we're going to get into that here next, but we'll get into something wonderful on the other side after that. So multiple sources are reporting that the lawsuits between Marcus Buff Bagwell and Scott Levy, better known as Raven, against WWE were dismissed this past Thursday the 7th. We had mentioned, goodness, we're going back a little over a year ago, in fact, about Bagwell and Raven essentially suing to get royalties from the WWE network, as their current deals require the company to pay out based on revenue from DVDs that they were featured on, but nothing for the access to the network. Lawyers for Bagwell and Levy requested a dismissal, which looks to have been granted on Thursday with prejudice, which means that they can't file a lawsuit against WWE regarding the royalties. Like, they can't go back and say, you know what, yeah, we want to sue you. Like, if they're stepping back, they can't step back up, I guess, for lack of a better way of phrasing it. But WWE's counterclaim was dismissed without prejudice, meaning that WWE can basically countersue Raven if he brings any claim against WWE in the future, alleging that WWE breached some contract with him. WWE had initially sued Raven, claiming that he made false statements about a previous lawsuit. See how convoluted this gets? When he and other former wrestlers attempted to get employee status as opposed to being independent contractors. And I guess the difference with that is if you're an employee, you can get things like you would theoretically be able to have access to things like medical benefits through the company, whereas given the nature of what they do as professional wrestlers and the toll that their bodies take on it, that would be a rather expensive venture. So that's why there's the declaration of being independent contractors. Now, the case was thrown out due to the statute of limitations expiring, and as far as other allegations, Levy on Chris Jericho's podcast had apparently said that Vince McMahon had paid off a judge, but that is alleged. I haven't heard the quote, so that's why I'm saying apparently and alleged, because I don't know for certain, and I'm sure if there was, then the case would be a little bit more open and shut in that regard. Now, this backing off is pivotal for a couple of reasons. Had the case gone on and a decision been placed in favor of Bagwell and Raven, it could have opened the doors for WWE to set up a royalty payout system for every wrestler past and present on the WWE network, not to mention the legal fees for dragging the case out. So, as a consumer, something tells me that $9.99 price point may even add another 9 to it, because that would have been the only way they'd been able to pay everybody for it. Oh man, As far as that, no word of a settlement necessarily was reached. So I don't know if at least nothing was announced in terms of there being any official settlement. So it's not like, all right, here, we'll give you X amount of money. We don't want to hear from you again on this. But there at least appears to be some form of an agreement. But details weren't disclosed on that. Now, the other factor is that WWE was apparently, back in the fall, working on adding episodes of WCW Thunder as well as Sunday Night Heat to the WWE Network, but those plans were held off, likely due to the lawsuit, and with that in the rearview mirror, perhaps those shows might be closer to being added, so maybe you can go back and check some of the episodes of Thunder and Sunday Night Heat. Well, it's hard to say, although I was going to say, I think one of the first ones that they'd probably have to put up there, for better or worse, is the night that David Arquette became WCW World Heavyweight Champion back in 2000. Because that's, of the 146 episodes of WCW Thunder, I think for most people that is the most memorable of those out there. Again, that's just kind of my take on it. Now, speaking of lawsuits, the Calgary, dramatic pause, Alberta, Canada, Sun reports that WWE Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart is suing a doctor for a botched wrist surgery back in 2015. Hart saying that he underwent surgery 2 years ago to deal with a wrist injury suffered way back in 1981. And 6 weeks after the surgery, he returned to have 3 pins removed and complained about the ongoing swelling and pain and the fact that his index finger and thumb, quote, did not function. Now, the doctor responded that Hart should wait and see how he healed, but visits in March, April, and August of 2016 resulted in continued severe pain, and no mobility, according to the claim. One of the specific allegations of negligence is that the defendants, the doctors and surgeons and whatnot, left, quote, a tourniquet on Hart's right arm on too long, such that the circulation of the nerves and tendons to his right thumb and index finger were damaged by a prolonged insufficient supply of oxygen, end quote. 2 months ago, Hart underwent a second surgery in Vancouver, but the outcome of that procedure is not yet known. The lawsuit seeks $1 million, pinky to corner of mouth, in general damages and unspecified amounts for lost income and other losses. Man, that was exhausting, all that legal stuff. Yeah, I know, and nothing for the corner of the mouth. Or for the pinky in the corner of the mouth there. It doesn't seem to work for me. I don't know. There we go. Ted getting a chuckle out of that here. All right, so from all that exhausting stuff onto something wonderful. Bray Wyatt having an interesting interruption this past Monday as he was referring to Matt Hardy and things seeming to be falling into place. So after that exhaustion, this might be a good thing for me to wake up.
Who is Matt Hardy? I know. The universe knows. But I don't think he knows.
Yeah! For millennia, my soul has wandered through space and time. But not all who wander are lost.
Matt Hardy is a fool. A charade. An illusion to mask his own failures and insecurities. Matt Hardy knows nothing of what is actually real.
I am well versed in all facets of the multiverse. I have studied at the Library of Alexandria, battled alongside Genghis Khan, danced with Cleopatra, held symposiums with Plato, and meditated atop the Great Pyramid of Giza.
The ramblings of a madman can be very dangerous, especially for those of you who listen.
Due to my condition, I have laid dormant inside this vessel called Matthew Hardy. But now, thanks to the consumer of terrestrial entities, I have been woken.
Last week was not Matt Hardy's breaking point. It was mine. I actually feel alive again. My heart is pumping, and there's a fire in me that is only growing stronger. But my fire will not cleanse you. My fire will not save you. My fire will make sure all of you burn.
Bray Wyatt, you left me with no choice. I sentenced you to deletion!
Yes. So because WWE a little cautious on using the broken Matt Hardy character that he had popularized in Impact Wrestling, they tweaked it ever so much, and as I mentioned last week, Impact has kind of backed off of it. They're going with Woken, and still going with all the delete and everything else that has popularized his character and reinvented him at this point at the age of, I believe he's about 40, either just turned or is about to turn 43. Amazing how that all works. And I'm sure that that'll also set up for some sort of a return for Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy, as he's recovering from his injury. And who knows what kind of insanity will go on from there. But if it's anything like that there, it's amazing how it's both intriguing and weird as hell. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm wondering if they're going to save that for the Royal Rumble, and if they do, man, Philadelphia, boy, you're going to get something good. Speaking of live events, though, 205 Live starting to get their own house show events. WWE announcing 3 events in January. Tickets went on sale yesterday morning. There's Friday, January 19th in Kingston, Rhode Island. The next night, the 20th in Lowell, Massachusetts. And Sunday, the 21st in Poughkeepsie, New York. And one other note, going a little beyond Rumble to WrestleMania, for those fans of the man who created the list, Mr. Y2J himself, Chris Jericho, it looks like if his concert tour schedule is any indication that he will not be taking part in a WrestleMania 34 match, as Jericho's band Fozzy is booked for WrestleMania Sunday at a venue named Wally's in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. That could be a red herring as I'm thinking about it, because it seems a lot smaller than some of the other things, but it's also the last date on Fozzy's tour. So there is a possibility that Jericho could make an appearance on Raw or SmackDown after that tour is over, but Jericho is known for showing up when you least expect it, so I wouldn't look for an appearance then. But then again, as I said, maybe that last date is an intentional red herring to make you think, oh, Jericho's not going to be at WrestleMania, and then all of a sudden he shows up out of the blue, and the crowd goes absolutely bat-you-know-what crazy. So it's amazing how it goes. It can go both ways, and that's what has made Jericho so good over the last 20 years of his career. Is he always finds ways of keeping you guessing. He always finds ways of reinventing himself. Now, oh wow, how quickly I forget here. Also, from our friends over at George's Cards and Collectibles, for the hockey hosers out there, Flyers rookie defenseman Robert Haig will be at George's Oxford Valley location this Monday night, December 11th from 7 to 8 p.m. Check out George's 3 locations. Their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, and then Chamonix Mall in the movie theater wing, and in the Oxford Valley Mall on the second level next to Starbucks. And you can also check them out at georgescollectibles.com, following George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook. Plus, they're on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat with the name @George's Cards. Man, we got 2 minutes left, not even, so it's time for
Birthdays, you jerk.
Oh, gee, thanks. Trolling me even from Georgia. All right, 3 + 2 Brucey bonuses. On this date in 1932, Sean Morton Downey was born. The television talk show host known as the pioneer of the trash TV format and interview guest of Piper's Pit with Rowdy Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 5, better known as Morton Downey Jr., passed away in 2001 at the age of 68 from lung cancer. Considering the chain smoking that he did on the show and at WrestleMania, was anyone surprised? Zip it. On this date in 1942, Richard Marvin Butkus was born, the Hall of Fame NFL linebacker for the Bears, the Chicago Bears, and guest referee in the 20-man Battle Royal in the Chicago portion of WrestleMania 2. You know him better as Dick Butkus. He turned 75 today. And on this date in 1968, Kurt Steven Angle was born, the WWE and TNA Hall of Famer, 4-time WWE champ, 6-time TNA heavyweight champ, current Raw general manager who in 1996 won an Olympic gold medal in wrestling with a broken freaking neck, turns 49 today. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. And 2 Brucey bonuses. On this date in 1916, Isser Danielovich was born, the film and stage actor from movies including Champion, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Gunfight at the OK Corral, and Spartacus. One of the last living people from the film industry's golden age, better known as Kirk Douglas, turns 101 today. Wow. And on this date in 1934, Dame Judith Olivia Dench was born, the Golden Globe and Tony Award-winning actress best known as M, the boss from the 7 of the James Bond movies. She turns 83 today. That's going to do it for me. Welcome back, Nutsy.
1 o'clock in all's well.
celebrating 60 years of broadcasting excellence. We're 1490 WBCB. 11